After a $249 million stimulus grant from the federal government, you'd think electric car battery maker A123 Systems would be in great financial shape. So then why is it being dubbed the next Solyndra? Here to weigh in, Paul Chesser, an associate fellow for the National Legal and Policy Center, and Robert Bryce, a senior fellow for the Manhattan Institute. Robert, let's start with you. What in the heck is wrong with this company? I mean, you look at this, it got all kinds of federal dough and losses, red ink for days. Why are they such a failure?
Well, I mean, the short business answer, Jerry, is that their losses are growing faster than their revenues, and they're depending. That's the business case, but they're depending on the electric vehicle sector for their future. And as could have been predicted easily had the Obama administration looked closely at the history of the electric vehicle business, the market is not developing. The customers for EVs are staying away in droves.
Yeah, it's not been popular with consumers. Paul, to bring you in, I want to talk about this battery explosion with A123. Somebody had to go to the hospital. What exactly happened there?
Well, the details aren't, there's only a few details, but we know it was one of A123's batteries. They've got the contract with GM to provide the battery for the next coming vehicle, the Spark, which is going to follow the Volt, which has not been selling very well, as Robert said. But the timing on this is amazing. This came the same day that the Department of Energy announced that they would extend A123 for 2 more years, give them 2 more years to spend down the grant money, which is just, the timing on this is mind-boggling.
Wow, that is mind-blowing. All right. Robert, to you. You know, this isn't the only failed green company. We have Beacon Power, Range Fuels, Enter1, you name it, it's there. What's the takeaway here?
Well, I think it's clear that with all of these grants and a lot of these loans, the Obama administration has been in the business of trying to pick technology winners, and that's not the role of government. I'm for the government trying to do basic research, R&D in energy issues, energy technologies, but what we've seen with this Obama administration is a lot of trying to pick winners, and they've been picking very badly.
And you say picking winners in the electric vehicle industry in particular is a big mistake. Paul, to you, we've had $2.4 billion in grants dished out. And what do we have to show for it?
Well, we have a lot of mistakes. We've got the EV companies like Fisker and A123 and Enter1. You know, this A123 company looks a lot like Enter1, which has already filed bankruptcy, in that they were both each dependent on a small electric vehicle company that are struggling or went down. And so A123 is in a similar situation that Enter1 was. So it's just a bad judgment. It's hard to understand what the Department of Energy is doing. They cut off Fisker. Fisker was A123's biggest client. They cut Fisker off, but they extended A123. It makes absolutely no sense.
That is crazy. All right. You know, you look at this, Robert, and you say, you listen to the rhetoric, which is essentially, you know, electric cars, someday they're going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Let's invest early so that we have the technology on hand and we can lead in the industry. What's wrong with that?
Well, Jerry, the history of the electric car is a century of failure, tailgating failure. We've seen this, we've heard this before, that, in just a few years, electric cars are going to be viable. If only oil prices are high enough, batteries are good enough. We've heard this since the early 1900s. There's nothing new here. Electric cars are the next big thing, and they always will be.
I know you love to say that. And they've been around for how long? What was the first year that somebody said, hey, let's build an all-electric car?
Well, remember, Thomas Edison thought that there was a future in electric cars, and then Ford developed a good, reliable internal combustion engine, and Edison immediately said, you know, I don't think this is going to work. The range is too small. The range is not sufficient. Gasoline is going to be the vehicle of the gasoline and oil-fueled cars are going to be the vehicles of the future, and he's been proven exactly right.
Paul, what are the technical impediments to these actually becoming something that the average American would want to buy and would actually benefit from buying?
Well, Robert might be a little better to answer that question, but he's right. It's been around for 100 years. You go online on YouTube and you can look up at Jay Leno electric vehicle. He'll show you and it demonstrate to you that this technology has been around 100 years, and it's no different now than it was then. They take too long to charge. They take at least 30 minutes if you can get the real fast charger, which are hard to find. They cost a lot up front, as we've seen with the Volt and the Nissan Leaf, and they're just they don't go far enough. They don't go even 100 miles yet.
Got a long way to go with these vehicles. And with all the development of the other energy sources, right? It just seems bizarre to me to be, continuing down this failed path, as you guys so rightly put it. Thanks for coming on tonight, Paul and Robert. Appreciate your time.
Thanks a million, Jerry.